I gotta be honest with you that I also do feel tired sometimes. And not to confuse with confusion. It's not like I get confused, or it's not like I get demotivated. No, I just feel tired. And this sometimes may come out as a result of, putting in a lot of work, expecting to see some sort of result, but you don't get to see it in a particular window of time that is reasonable enough to expect a result. This may make you feel tired. And this has not been my case only, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I do believe a lot of people are feeling the same thing, and too bad most are getting demotivated. Yes, they're getting demotivated, and it has been affecting them so much negatively. And that's why I said I must discuss this topic, even if it's just a brief. Yeah, I do believe someone may get encouraged by this discussion. Yeah, so so this discussion mainly targets my fellow African brothers and sisters, and especially those who have migrated from their home countries to European countries, just like I did. Yeah, for whatever the reason, but you have been in Europe and you have been feeling the heat of Europe. I say, let's sit down and talk together. So there was this short video clip which I saw on social media, and I think it was from a comedy film. Yeah, I don't remember the name of that film, but in that short clip there was an African American father who was talking to his son, and this is what he told him. He told him that, as an African, you need to be 3 times better than your fellow white friend for you to stand an equal chance of access to opportunities. And so, though that was a comedy film, but the message was absolutely true, and it is even truer now, that as an African, it doesn't matter where, even in your own home country, as an African, you need to be, I think, even 10 times better than someone with a light skin for you to stand an equal chance. Why is this way? I don't know, man. I don't know. Of course, we know where it came from, but why is this way? Nobody can tell. I mean, for me, I would just say, that's it. That's life. That's life. Yeah, and this has been the case in Finland. I live in Finland, if you have no idea. It has been the case in Sweden, in Norway. Yes. So we are in the situation where now accessing for opportunities is, of course, difficult for most people, but it's even worse for African people, or anybody who has a dark skin like mine. Yeah, I once also saw another video on social media where there was an Indian lady who looked like an African except for her hair, and she was like concerned. A lot of people were, try to liken her to an African, and of course at the end of that video she said, but why should I be sad? I mean, Africans are not bad people. But of course I got the message, like, by being likened with Africans, that means opportunities were being denied at her as well. Yeah, so the message is that most of my brothers and sisters that I know who are Africans, they have been doing their best, putting in a lot of work, pushing, forward, trying this and that. And you can see the spirit that is being poured into works. Yeah, but most of the time, you don't see the results. And when I say the results, I mean, the job offerings. We're talking about the business deals. We're talking about many things. But anyway, keeping the long story short is that despite putting in a lot of work, trying this and that, putting in all the efforts that you can put, it is difficult to see a positive outcome, especially if you are African or you have a dark skin like an African. It is difficult. And how can I try to justify this? Let me try to justify it this way. I think in the whole world, including Finland, including my country, Tanzania, there are very few people who are actually racist. And for me to classify someone as racist, I mean, first of all, he has to understand pretty much about you. He has to understand your your strength. He has to understand your weakness. He has to understand your kindness. He has to understand everything about you. But still, he decides to bias against you. That is a racist person. He knows your strength. He knows you can do the job. He knows you deserve it, but he keeps it away from you anyway. Those people are racist. And these are the people that I say they are so few in the world. But the majority who remain, that may also be categorized as racist, they are actually affected more by the stereotype. They are stereotypical people. And this includes many Africans as well. Being stereotypical, it means you have just heard a story and you have decided to believe it. Of course, you didn't want to bother to know whether is it true or not true. You just heard these people are thieves and you marked these people are thieves. So whenever you see any person with that feature, then you just check the box. That is what many people are. You know what I'm saying? And so even when we talk about, Finland or Norway or Sweden or any other European country, I believe majority of people are the people who just heard stories about Africans and they placed them in the shelves. They believed them. And all that is needed for these people is just to be proven otherwise. To be proven otherwise. Just do something that may disprove what they believe. At least, maybe, of course, they may not jump over to start believing you, but at least you put them in the middle where they have to question themselves, which is the truth. We were being told that these people are stupid, these people are ignorant. But how did they manage to do this? I think this is the assignment that we have to give ourselves as Africans. Let us prove these people wrong about Africans. Let us prove them wrong. But how can we get to that point? I think one thing I can say is that from the fact that we are being denied access to a lot of opportunities, this means that you are being denied the right to showcase your skills and abilities. And because a lot of people don't see anything from you, then they just confirm that you don't have anything to show. Which means that number one tactic or number one thing that we are supposed to do is to fight for the way to show ourselves with our skills and potentials that we possess. That, I believe, is number one. But number two, which supports number one, is how can we do this? How can we make this happen? Because if you do it as an individual, always the outcome may be so small, you can easily get discouraged, you can easily get, dismissed, something like that. And it happens to a lot of people who are working as individuals. They are doing their best, but their work gets dismissed, including mine. How do we make this so significant to be dismissed? I think there is one thing that we can do. Let's find a way to start working together. Maybe not in one corporation, maybe not in one group, but can we complement each other? Can we complement each other? Can you see your fellow African brother or sister with a particular talent or potential, and you can see yours and find a way to complement with each other? I do understand that, most of the time it may happen that you don't have that chemistry. But would you try until when you find the chemistry? Because by coming together and working with each other, that means you provide yourselves with resources that have been denied to you by all other people. Of course, I don't know. Many people may have that mentality that maybe we need cash. I need to be given a capital. I need to be given a grant. I need to be given a loan. But you don't get a loan. You don't get a cash. But you may get a community of fellow people that you may push and support each other to the level where your works will now be recognized by outsiders who will now have to question themselves. Guys, we were being told these people can't do these things. How did they do these things? It looks like they can. Why don't we give them a chance? Because that is what I think will come, to that. So let me conclude today. Today's video was so long, but let me just tell you, I'm now thinking, of course, I already started doing this and I stopped for a while. I took a break in order to reflect, but I'm thinking of resuming those sessions where we come and, display African talents, tell about what we do, supporting each other, discussing, coaching each other, telling each other, how can we move forward as African talents? How can we move forward? So please stay tuned on my pages for these sessions, and most importantly, be ready to be part of these sessions so that we can inspire each other to move forward. Yeah, that was my biggest message. So see you soon.